Hello, good morning, welcome to Balance Act. My name is Juan. About to head to the gym. Excuse the wear. It's part of my new Saturday routines going to the gym. So, at any rate, welcome to Balance Act. And today I wanted to just touch real quick on discipline, at least the concept of discipline. So, I think many of us, including myself, think of discipline as forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do. It can be, I suppose. Really, what it is mastery over yourself in order to do things. Yes, despite how you may feel or the thoughts going through your mind or the achiness in your body, getting up at 6 a.m. to be at the office by 8 a.m., whatever it is that you need to do, right? Discipline, yes? I was trained as a martial artist when I was a child, and I studied under Tommy Gargiola and Shaolin Kempo Karate back on Long Island in West Babylon. And I absolutely loved it. I made my way into, I think, a brown belt, like a second degree brown belt before I left that art. And then I moved on to kickboxing, and I did kickboxing for a couple of years. Full contact kickboxing, which was fun. I just did the amateur league. And discipline within the martial arts is definitely about rigorous training and also just an understanding of yourself, how to conduct yourself around others, and then also just being disciplined to do the repetitive movements to learn how to fight, essentially, learn how to defend yourself and your family. That's what discipline is in martial arts. And that comes with a sense of, I hate to use the cliched word within martial arts, but honor. It gives you a sense of honor, like honoring yourself, honoring others. It makes you feel really good. It makes you feel powerful, actually. It's like power through meekness, because you learn how to be kind of like a badass motherfucker. Like, you learn how to fight like better than the movies. You know what I mean? Like, and you learn how to fight in real practical situations. And then with the school I went to, it was very, I guess you could say, efficient. Like we sparred all the time, we trained all the time. It was back in the '90s too, so we didn't know too much about brain damage. But also we went light when we sparred. We didn't go hard unless we was training in kickboxing. And then we were getting ready for a match. Then, sometimes we'll go up what we call like 75% or even 90%, depending on the sparring session. But general sparring within the self-defense realm, you just start studying to get your next belt. We used to go light. So learning how to fight, learning how to defend myself gave me great confidence. Gave me a great sense of confidence. So much so where I guess those insecurities just kind of melt away. Those insecurities of, somebody looking at you funny, or, or somebody approaching you, or somebody trying to intimidate you. Any kind of like physical threat, that stress from that kind of goes away, because you kind of know how to handle yourself in a situation. And you kind of have an understanding that I could probably beat most people in a fight, because most people don't know how to act when a punch is actually thrown at them. And then also gives you this idea that I could beat people larger than me, maybe younger than me, stronger than me. I'm not looking for a fight, because the number one move in martial arts is walking away. But if things took off, I know I can handle myself. So to me, that's discipline. It's allowing yourself to basically hold up your responsibilities for the betterment of yourself and others around you. So now, in a general sense, discipline, I love this. It's funny, I guess we want to stick within the fighting world. Mike Tyson, his quote on discipline is phenomenal. He said that discipline is doing something that you hate as if you love it. And I love that quote. Like, that's a dope quote. And it hits you too. It's like, ooh, you don't understand it right away. And I think it's something that you have to internalize. It's something you have to think about for yourself. So for me, when I initially heard that quote, although it hit me, I thought Mike Tyson was saying, well, he might be saying this, but for me, I took it initially as, oh, okay, I gotta like kind of sort of convince myself or mentally trick myself into enjoying something I like, not doing that I don't like. Like, I love going to the gym 5 a.m. on a Monday, yeah, like that, And it may be that at first, but honestly, what I really think that Mike Tyson meant by that was that you start to fall in love with the process of what you're doing, although initially you don't feel like it, because it's something new and something different. So discipline, I think, is really changing your mind. It's changing your mind about a behavior pattern that you have. So you may have a behavior pattern of wake up in the morning, going on your cell phone, eating a donut, and then having a coffee. And that might not be the healthiest thing for you in the world. So you decide that I want to break that habit and start a new morning routine. Perhaps I'm still drinking my coffee, but instead of looking at my phone, I'm grabbing my journal, I'm journaling. Instead of grabbing a donut, I'm gonna go ahead and grab a banana or whatever, something healthier, maybe a bowl of oatmeal. So now initially, that's not easy because your brain loves nothing more than keeping a habit. Because as far as your brain's concerned, we're surviving doing this, so why should we change it? The brain in that kind of base level can work very binary. So now you have to retrain your brain. Now, if you want to do this, it's going to take discipline. So that's the definition of discipline, yes? So doing something that you hate doing as if you love it, because essentially you're going to end up loving it because this thing will benefit you and you know it. You know it here, but you got to get to know it here. You understand? And back here, the reptilian brain, so to speak. So you know it here, but you don't know it here, and you may not know it so much here. But so that's the idea. The idea is to go ahead and get yourself to do this thing, and that just takes a certain mind state. So now the more spiritual side, they're going to tell you I think both sides really tell you the same thing, honestly. They're just messaging, the deliverance of the message is a bit different. It's like on the spiritual side is very positive and light and fluffy. And it's like, okay, so we're going to, change our thinking. We're going to go ahead and, do the deep work, figure out what traumas you might have been through, what things might be holding you towards this habit that you have that you don't like, that you're looking to change, what blocks that you have that are keeping you feeling negatively, about yourself, about your life, that's making it hard for you to break this addiction, or to make sure that you get up early enough, that you're, holding down the job correctly, these things that we want to do, but then there's parts of us that stop us from doing it. So really, on the spiritual side, they're going to ask you to go inward, look at it, get ahead of it, so to speak, change your mind about things, try to feel good first, and then start to tackle the task, start to chase the dreams. So essentially, it's kind of asking for a patience of do the inner work, get your heart and your mind aligned, essentially your mental state and your emotional state aligned, perhaps also your spiritual state, and then go towards the thing that you want to do. So basically, feel good first and then take action. This is a more, new age or spiritual approach towards discipline. Now, on the practical side, somewhat similar but different in approach, which many of you probably already guessed. On the practical side, they're going to tell you to do it regardless. And then as you do it, your mental state will start to change. So it's almost like the cart before the horse kind of thing in comparison with the spiritual side asking you to do. The spiritual side says get yourself straight mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and then take action. The practical side is saying take action, and as you take action, all the other stuff will follow. Because what's going to happen on the practical side of things is that you are going to start proving to yourself you can do this. Let's do it. David Goggins, let's take our favorite example here. So David Goggins, he was really, really fat, like over 300 pounds back in 2005, I believe. He decided he wanted to be a Navy SEAL, so he started training himself to run 1 mile. Our ultra marathon, 100-mile running dude couldn't run 1 mile back, I think, in 2005. And so he started going out to a park, I think. It was in the wintertime, it was freezing cold, and he just started running. And he said he could barely even do a quarter mile, right? But he knew he wanted to be a Navy SEALs. So he had to prove to himself through action that, I can do this. And that initial proving through action set him on a life-changing course. We have the David Goggins of today, the baddest man alive, So he went from this 300-pound loser killing cockroaches to one of the greatest teachers this world has ever known, in my opinion. He's one of the greatest examples of anything is possible. So that's discipline on a more practical sense. Do the thing and prove to yourself. Now, this way is also very painful, but it's also sometimes necessary. And that's really the balance for me personally. So the balance for me personally between the metaphysical and the physical when it comes to discipline is just that. On the metaphysical side, I do like to get ahead of it. I love to meditate. I love to, write in my journal. I love to examine myself internally, having conversations with myself, so to speak, And some of these things are suggested on the more physical side of things. Like David Goggins says he has this morning meeting with himself and tries to map out the day and how he'll handle each situation. But on the more metaphysical side, it's a more gentler approach. It's not like you're getting ready for war. It seems like the practical side, they're all like warriors, basically. They're all soldiers and whatnot, and always trying to get ready for war, opposition, adversity. Meanwhile, on the spiritual side, the way they handle adversity is by essentially trying to rise themselves above it. Just like, okay, that might happen, but I'm up here, they're down here, I'm going straight. So that's kind of my approach. This is like, live and let live, get myself ready to feel the way I want to feel as I go through my day, regardless of what I'm doing. And I usually accomplish that through a daily practice of morning meditation and journaling as well, plus reading. But there are times when things just got to get done. Shit's got to get done. Time to get shit done. And in that moment, I lean on my inner David Goggins. And I just go out there and do it. What you may call white knuckling. And in those moments, you have to essentially, there's still a mental game here. Tell yourself, we're going to do this. Let's go. You basically got to be your own coach. Like what approach I take is I talk to myself in the third person. Like, Juan, we're going to do this and let's go. You got this. I may do what's called closed loop thinking, where, you basically talk yourself through a situation, because a lot of times what's happening inside of you is that there's an anxiety building up because you're afraid, and therefore your body is now tempted to keep you from doing this activity because it feels that this activity, because of your thoughts and your emotions around it, are dangerous. So it's actually trying to stop you from doing this thing. It's almost like you want to jump off a cliff and your body stops you from jumping off a cliff because they understand that it's dangerous. So that's essentially what's happening. You have the wrong perception about an action you're about to take. For some reason or another, through a past experience, whatever, you subconsciously think of this as danger, and your body's like, don't do it. So that's what's really going on there. So to get past that, you have to kind of override the governor in your brain, and then do it anyway. So that just takes some grit, that takes some doing, that takes some bravery, that takes some fighting through the pain, basically the pain, the mental pain of making yourself do something you don't want to do. And there's a lot of tips and tricks for that. And a lot of it is just, number one, don't beat up on yourself when you fail. Understand that you'll fail. And understand you'll get up tomorrow and do it again. David Goggins says, don't look at failures as failures, look at failures as attempts. Now's your first attempt at waking up early. Tomorrow will be your second attempt. Okay, you keep attempting until you are successful. And then once you are successful, then you keep doing it. And then as you do it, you will convince yourself, I can do this. So there are times when all the meditation in the world can't get me to wake up at 5 a.m. So then I have a conversation with, as Joe Rogan would say, my inner bitch. And I have a conversation with my inner bitch and letting him know that we're doing this. Now, I don't lean on that. You can if that's the better path for you. But for me, I like to get out ahead of it spiritually and then take action. But every once in a while, when I hit that wall, it's in a conversation time. We're white knuckling at time. We're doing this time. And if we fail at it, that's cool, because tomorrow will be my second attempt. And that's how I approach discipline. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Whoever is watching, I'm gonna start advertising it soon. My book, Samurai Punk, is coming out tomorrow, which is Sunday. I think April 8th is basically Easter. It's coming out on Easter. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think about that. And then I'll also be advertising that book. And with that, I'll start advertising this podcast. And we'll see. Maybe I'll continue doing this. And I know I'm going to continue doing this. In my head, I got millions of views Although I only got like 4. And those 4 are probably me and my sister Lori. Shout out to my sister Lori. Love you, baby. Thanks for supporting me. And that's about it. Have a great weekend. I love you.